Hello, everyone. Welcome to the semifinals episode for the UCSF Digital Health Awards 2020. This is our 6th webinar in the series, and in this episode, we're going to talk about some amazing consumer wellness companies who have become the semifinalists for this year's UCSF Digital Health Awards. But to begin with, we wanted to first show you a preview of our awards show.
Audio. Welcome to the second annual UCSF Digital Health Awards 2020, the Academy Awards of Digital Health, where we honor the best technologies that are defining and leading the digital health revolution.
We want to improve healthcare, so we're really excited to be part of this wonderful evening.
Collaborators include the top healthcare incubators, accelerators, and venture capitalists across America, featuring the top 100 digital health innovators in the country selected from over 1,000 entries, 15 curated award categories, hundreds of judges selected from the healthcare community, healthcare industry thought leaders, thousands of online attendees, and dozens of virtual events, culminating in the September 23rd finals, honoring those who are reshaping the industry and making a difference in the COVID pandemic.
Join me, Tui Vu, as we honor the role digital healthcare plays in rewriting the future of health.
And the UCSF Digital Health Awards is narrating that future. Join us on September 23rd at 6 p.m. Pacific Time for a 90-minute celebration as we honor these winners changing the future of healthcare.
All right, so welcome again to the semifinals episode. Yesterday was our day one for the semifinals, and we had 5 amazing categories. And we spoke to the semifinalists in each one of these, and we had a great audience participation where they asked some of very interesting questions to the panelists themselves, and these were moderated by an expert in that particular category. Today is the day 2, and we're starting our day with the consumer wellness category. Next slide. So today's agenda, like Aneri mentioned, would have introductions. We'll then move on to a roundtable discussion where we're going to ask each of our semi-finalists in the consumer wellness category a set of questions. We invite questions from the audience, which these companies can then answer, and then we're going to close the session for today. Next slide. I wanted to introduce Mark Goldstein, who's the chairman and founder of the UCSF Health Hub, and is a managing partner at Builders VC. And he's actually producing the entire Health Award show. Mark has joined us on the call, and he can, Mark, would you like to add something?
Absolutely. Hi, guys, and welcome. We're really excited about this this category. This category had, I think it was 75 or so nominations. We're now down to the last 4 semifinalists. These are all great companies, really amazing companies, actually. And whereas we go into the final round and for the grand finals for next week. Before I get going, I want to talk a little bit about who is UCSF Health Hub, what are we doing, and what's the Health Awards show all about. Get into the sponsor slide. If you look at our sponsors, we would be not able to do any of this without Wilson Sonsini, without Novartis, without Livongo. And you can see all of the venture firms that are listed on this list. UCSF Health Hub is a nonprofit. We are completely funded by our sponsors and by the venture capital community. We've gone through this process now, and as you can kick through a little next to the slide. We've gone through this process where we have multiple presenters presenting each stage. Today we have Mikihiro from Hike Ventures, and Mikihiro is on our board of directors at UCSF Health Hub. He's a longtime venture capitalist. He knows healthcare. He knows the health tech space, and he's going to be moderating the rest of this panel. And really with that, I'm going to, Miki, I'm going to hand it off to you.
One last thing before we move on is how we came over up until this stage. So this journey, like Miki knows, has started 3 months back, where we were going over 1,000 applications from some amazing digital health companies. We had 2 rounds prior to this where we cut the list from 1,000 to 750 eligible applications, and then the top 14 in each category was chosen as the quarterfinalist. And now, like Mark mentioned, we're down to the final 4 in each category. These companies and each of these rounds have been judged by 250 plus incredible judges who are experts in digital health and in healthcare industry overall. Mikihiro has been one of our judges, and it all ends at our grand finale next week on September 23rd, where we're going to announce the winner in each category. Next slide. So just to give you an overview of how the judging went in this particular round, we had 5 important parameters on which the judges were scoring each entry, and those were value to customers, level of innovation, level of validation, market traction, and level of differentiation. What's important is that today's session is also going to be recorded, and we are going to share the recording with a lot of our judges. Some of our judges have joined us. For those who have not, they can also hear today's session and also understand how you are differentiating yourselves from the other 3 incredible companies in the category. And next slide. With that, over to you, Mikihiro, to announce and take over the roundtable.
Thank you very much. Thank you, healthcare UCSF Health Hub team for all the hard work. My name is Mikihiro Yasuda. You can call me Miki. I'm a founding partner at Hike Ventures. We are a venture capital firm focused on seed stage applied AI startups. Our core market is US, Canada, and then in Japan. Since there are a lot of ways AI and data can deliver values to healthcare system, we have a number of startups solving problems that healthcare system is facing today. We have invested in companies in remote patient monitoring, diagnosis, and then drug discovery. And today, I am very excited to meet with finalists in consumer wellness. Consumer wellness is so important now, ever before, due to social distancing and shelter in place. Healthcare providers are having a hard time to reach the patients. And then consumer may not want to visit hospitals as often as a pre-COVID era. As a result, consumers are in charge of managing their well-beings as well as their families' well-beings. Fortunately, we have startups who stand up and then provide solutions for us. And then I'm very excited to meet with the finalists today. And then let's move on to the panel discussions. Before that, I think I'd like to introduce the finalists. Yes, so we have Sean Rahimi, CEO and the founder of Enso, and then Hannah Bayam, Director of B2B Marketing at Alto Pharmacy, Jen Liao, Director of Strategic Initiative at Evidation Health, and then Steve Kent, Head of Corporate Strategy at Ōura. And now each company will present about 4 minutes and answer all these 4 questions, key questions that are: number 1, what's so unique about your solutions? Number 2, what does existing user journey look like? Number 3, what is your validation? How did you differentiate yourself? And number 4, where will the next 5 years take you? Okay, with that, let's begin with Enso. Sean?
Sean, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Thank you. That helps for sure. Thank you guys for the opportunity. So So let me tell you about Enso. Essentially, our company is a team of engineers that are very obsessed with building highly effective treatments to pain. And the company really started out of our personal experiences with chronic pain, myself included. My background is I'm an engineer. I worked at companies that built implanted medical devices, and including devices for pain relief. And we saw an opportunity to solve this problem with Enso, the device that looks like this. It is magically invisible. No, not really. Looks like this. It clips into a patch that you can place on any part of the body. And what makes this really unique is not just the fact that it's cool, it's a patch, it's small, and it's controlled by a smartphone, but really the fact that it delivers very high frequency components of energy through electrical pulses that deliver a nerve block-like effect to reduce pain. Now this is similar to implanted devices that do this, such as the Nevro or spinal cord stimulator and other spinal cord stimulators that are on the market recently. What we do is deliver this type of treatment in a way that can be delivered externally from the body across the skin to solve pain of various types. The device has been shown in clinical trials to reduce pain by an average of 56% over 4 weeks compared to placebo. These were studies run at UCSF in partnership with Stanford as well. That showed the device works about as well in that case as an implanted spinal cord stimulator. This can also be compared to Vicodin, where you see a 34% reduction in pain in similar studies. So if you think about this as really a solution to the problem we have around pain and the opioid crisis, and a way to really replace drugs as a way to treat pain, that's really what we're trying to do here. As someone that's lived with pain, it's a massive problem. This is something that affects hundreds of millions of people in the US, over 100 million people, 1.5 billion people around the world, and costs our healthcare system in the US more than cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes combined. So it's a massive problem in the sense of the studies that we've developed is basically focused on showing to physicians initially and to insurance companies how we're able to solve both the clinical problem as well as the cost problem related to this. And so in terms of just like what we're trying to do here over the next 5 years, we've started so far in developing insurance coverage at the VA hospitals among workers' comp payers nationally through contracts with most of the larger workers' comp carriers. And now we're working with private insurance companies, including Humana, United Healthcare, and other name brand insurers to develop pilot studies to expand coverage for Enso. We work both through insurance as well as directly with patients. We try to make the treatment as accessible as possible. That's a big part of our mission right now, is just to solve pain and make this treatment as accessible as possible to the millions of people that really are in need of relief out there today. And so as we think about our path forward in doing that, to make it really easy to deliver the treatment to a patient, what we've done is developed a process where we can ship the device to a patient remotely. We set them up over the phone with the device and provide ongoing coaching, as we believe it's important not just to deliver an effective treatment, but also to make sure that patients have the questions that they have answered so they can continue to use the treatment and get good results from it. I think essentially, that is our goal, that is our mission. The clinical studies that we've developed so far and the insurance coverage we've developed for the product so far are really pointing us into a direction where we can actually make this device accessible to the millions of people that are out there that need it. And I appreciate your time in talking about it. And thank you, Mika.
Thank you, Sean. Let's move on to Alto. Hannah, please.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction and the opportunity to participate today. I think the easiest way to understand what Alto is about and the changes that we're driving for is to have each of you think about the last time that you had to go pick up a prescription at a pharmacy. If it was in the last several months of shelter in place, there was likely anxiety around, is it safe to go to the pharmacy to get my medications? You may have been told a prescription was ready, only to find out after you've arrived that in fact it's not. Or you may have been told a sticker shock of hundreds or even thousands of dollars more than you understood that medication was going to cost, and been left to navigate that experience on your own. Alto was founded about 5 years ago here in San Francisco to solve all of the inefficiencies of the larger pharmacy distribution ecosystem by creating a patient-centric experience, by placing all of our support, our technology, and our processes around the individual, you, I, our family members who need access and support when it comes to navigating medications, and build a better pharmacy experience. In those 5 years, we've delivered more than 1 million prescriptions. We're now live in 4 states and counting. And just one of our pharmacy hubs, for instance, here in the San Francisco area, can serve the same radius as 400 individual chain pharmacies with our free courier delivery model. So the most common barriers to adherence with medications today are cost, access, and support. On the cost front, Alto solves that adherence challenge by automatically searching for and applying all available coupons, copay cards, and manufacturer assistance programs so that patients aren't left to understand what are my options for savings. On the access front, we bring the pharmacy to you. You no longer have to have access to transportation or time in your day to get to your pharmacy to pick up your medications. Your medications come right to your door at the time of your choosing. And support. Many individuals, particularly those navigating newly diagnosed chronic or complex conditions, have a lot of fear and anxiety about what new treatment programs are going to mean, what the side effects that they need to look out for might be, or if they're starting something that involves a new type of dosing or administration, like an injectable, they've never done this before. And the idea of asking a pharmacist in a traditional retail setting for that type of very personal and private guidance is often alienating to the individual and a reason they may not start their medication. And so our pharmacist team is available in the evenings, on the weekends, those times when we have the energy and the space to be thinking about our health. And they're available via phone, text, or in our app. So that, again, pharmacy can be an accessible, easy to integrate and interface with part of your health journey. What's next for us in the coming years? It's expanding this model, this courier-based delivery, the accessibility of exceptional pharmacy care and the tools that we've developed to make medication management easier to more and more communities. We do this through both expanding those physical pharmacy distribution hubs in new cities, but also through building really deep supportive relationships with clinical teams. So we spend a lot of our time, energy, and really our field development model on explaining why a different pharmacy experience is important and why clinical teams, care providers, prescribers should be thinking about pharmacy choice as a key component of that health journey, that last mile to actually seeing a better impact, and building a network of providers and their teams who advocate for what's best for their patients. And so what we've seen ultimately is that that combination of services, support, and accessibility drives better outcomes. And we're seeing primary adherence rates, the likelihood that those first medications get filled and taken as prescribed, averaging around 77%. Traditional retail pharmacies adherence for first fills is going to look more like 40 to 50% as a national average. So some really meaningful health impacts. Happy to answer questions, discuss further, but thanks for the time.
Great, thanks. Let's move on to evidation. Jem. I think you're muted.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear the last part, so it was for evidation. So, hello?
Hello, yes.
Sorry, what was the question? I wasn't able to hear the last part.
Okay, so the questions are, what's so unique about your solution? And then what does the existing user journey look like? And then what is your validation? And then how did you differentiate yourself? And then finally, where will the next 5 years take you?
So Evitation, are you there in the call?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thanks for the introduction. I dialed in on my phone and then had to unmute on the webinar part of it. So thanks everyone for joining. For Evidation, we really measure health in everyday life, and we generate personalized insights about how health and behavior interact outside of clinic walls. So we have a consumer platform called Achievement, and this is trusted by over 3.7 million individuals right now. And we connect directly with these individuals in a continuous and longitudinal way. So we've built out connections to devices, sensors, and apps for these members to easily connect to. Actually, my fellow semifinalists are great examples of our ideal partners here. And we have, over the last few years, been working with enterprise partners to conduct this research. And in recent, we are working towards actually connecting directly with these individuals to generate personalized insights that we return directly to them to enable actions to be taken on top of this data. So for Evidation, we are right now the largest, most demographically and geographically diverse cohort in the US. We have 3.7 million users. They span across all 50 states. We have about 95% representation in all of the different zip codes. As mentioned, we're agnostic to which apps, phones, devices our members are using, and this helps improve accessibility and further fragmentation in the healthcare ecosystem. We still have areas to improve to achieve, this holistic representation, but we've made it really, really easy for all of the members to participate in healthy actions and participate in research that we surface to them. And with over 130 APIs, we make it very easy for our users to connect their data sources, and then we leverage this novel data outside of clinic walls to combine it with survey data and health data to generate new personalized insights. And even within our clinical studies, we see over 80% compliance and completion over the course of the entire observation period because we have made it easy and we meet our users where they are. We've made it a core focus to give our members direct control over their data and what it's used for. So we generate these insights while prioritizing user data privacy and control. We require explicit consent for each use of an individual's data. The research world has always been about large aggregated data sets, but we make it easy to ask the individual directly, which allows us to start looking at these ends of one for personalization. So when a user joins Achievement, they download the app, and they might be downloading the app for several reasons: to participate in research, to earn cash for the activities that they're already doing, or to track their activities and receive insights on these activities themselves. They can connect the different devices and apps that they already have, or if they're participating in a research project, they may also receive one of these to participate in it. And then they opt to complete surveys or participate in research that we surface to them. So this can be Evidation internal research. It can be research that's conducted by our different partners. And every time they complete any action, whether it is connecting their data and having that come onto the platform, answering a survey, or participating in this research, they can actually earn points, which can be redeemed for cash. And then, as I mentioned, we are now working on offering real-time insights and digital tools to our members so that the data that's coming in can be utilized and clinically actionable for these users from what they have provided to the platform itself. So right now, we already have connections with all of these different individuals. We're continuously building out all of the different apps and devices that we partner with and solutions that they can have access to. And we've really democratized this for everyone to be able to meaningfully contribute to research and receive something back to themselves. And having this end-to-end solution where we can collect the data, ingest and analyze the data, and then building the infrastructure to make this data actionable is really what we've been focusing on. And for the next 5 years, it is meeting the consumers and the individuals where they are and giving them control of their data and what they would like to do with it. And they have the insights to be able to enable them and empower them within the healthcare system.
Okay, thank you.
On next slide. Yeah.
Okay,
hey everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's move on. Steve, Ōura, please.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, firstly, I just wanted to say it's an honor to be a part of this event. I actually live just down the street from UCSF, and my wife attends the school as a medical student, so I'm a huge fan of the community, and I think it's a fantastic organization. And I'm also very proud to represent the broader Ōura team who's been working to build this company over the years to bring our technology to the world. So just digging into Ōura's solutions, you know, we feel we've really cracked the code on wearables. Ōura was founded to deliver the highest quality data possible in a form factor that people will actually use. So these guiding principles led us to developing a ring that uses infrared PPG sampling at 250 hertz directly from your digital artery. So right on the bottom of your palm. And Ōura's data quality is actually on par with the gold standard of ECG. So Ōura also sets itself apart by measuring changes in body temperature and motion 24 hours a day. And these novel body temperature data have significantly furthered research in identifying trends associated with fever and hormonal shifts. All of this technology, packed into the size of a normal sized ring with a battery life of up to a week, actually brings research grade information to the hands of every consumer. And I think very significant is, unlike many other wearables, Ōura's customers actually wear the ring. We're very proud to report that 70% of the people who wear a ring check their data every morning. Digging into the Ōura user journey, so for us, ease of use and compliance are paramount. After purchasing the ring, it is immediately ready for use and will automatically pair to the downloaded Ōura app. The ring then captures high quality data and then provides actionable guidance throughout the day. Our algorithms are also intelligent, so we create individual baselines over time to give each person more precise feedback for them. So our customers wake up every day, they open the app and check their data to see how their previous day's choices impacted their physiology, specifically during sleep, and then they receive unique guidance and insights on how they can improve their physiological state through lifestyle choices. All of this data is automatically transferred to the cloud, where we allow interested customers to dig deeper into their data, look for trends and correlations, and even download their own data to run their own analyses. And it's really cool that Ōura's research partners also use this cloud system to organize large and typically decentralized research studies. Overall, we provide our customers and partners with data they can trust, and then we provide specific guidance on what to do with that information. Looking into how are we different from the other semifinalists, I think most specifically, we deliver robustly validated continuous physiological data from a piece of continuous monitoring technology. And we also have really high compliance. It's also extremely easy to use, so the customer literally doesn't have to do anything except open the app and charge the ring once a week to get their physiological data. We then deliver unique insights to our customers based on their own baselines. So we strongly believe that every individual should be able to know how their body is responding to their lifestyle choices in a holistic way. Most important, without being compared to generalized statistics that may not even be relevant to them. Additionally, Ōura's ease of use means that the effort required to learn about your health has never been lower. We all live busy lives, so simplicity is really key. And looking to the future, I think why would winning this category really benefit Ōura? I think there's a staggering percentage of health conditions in the US that are attributed to lifestyle choices. And that being said, preventive healthcare has never been more important. So by providing our customers with accurate and credible information, unique daily guidance, and health education, we meet our customers where they are in their health journey, very similar to evidation, but on the physiological side and capturing these signals from the ring, and give them the tools they need to live a high quality of life. Ōura is well established, but we feel we're just scratching the surface at the power of continuous physiological monitoring. And we're heavily investing in our customer experience, technology development, iterations, and partnerships with academic and commercial research partners. So winning this award would be yet another vote of confidence in our approach and ultimately support Ōura in its pursuit of bringing breakthrough health and wellness management tools to the world.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to roundtable discussion. So these are the questions we prepared for you to answer. So each one of you will have 30 seconds to answer a question. So I'm going to address the first question. What your company doing to change the status quo in your sector? Let's start with the same order. Sean, please.
Thank you. So to change the status quo. So what is the status quo in pain management today? As you think about that for pain, we're talking about opioids, we're talking about invasive procedures like surgery. So in our case, we have a device that has been shown in clinical trials to work almost 2 times as effectively as an opioid without any side effects. And so we have an opportunity to actually solve the problem, reduce pain on the chronic side in terms of helping people that have had pain for years and years and years and are dealing with back pain, knee pain, joint pain, many people you probably know in your daily lives, your family, as well as people after surgery that are experiencing acute pain and need a way to avoid the drugs. And as you can solve pain, just to end cap that, you can do a good job in actually helping people improve function, which reduces the chance of even needing surgery over time. And so I think what we're doing is beyond just replacing drugs or replacing surgery, we're actually helping people live a more confident and active life that results in lower health risks across the board, not just for pain, but for other issues, since it's so important for us to be active in our lives, for to be healthy. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Anna, please.
Sure. So the core DNA of the Alto model in our team is rethinking what's possible with pharmacy. So we've taken everything about the old way, about waiting in line, confusing information, expensive medications, lack of visibility, and said, there's a better way to do this. We've rebuilt the entire pharmacy operational tech stack from scratch, created platforms for both patients and providers and the clinical teams to have insight into what's actually happening with medications. And we're delivering all that to your door and putting pharmacy in your hands.
Thank you. Jen?
Yeah, so for evidation, we really focus on wearables and other devices, and this makes it possible to generate new insights from everyday life beyond what can be done in a traditional clinical setting, but more enhancing what is already being done in those settings. So we make it possible for everyone to participate in research by harnessing this data and helping to deliver insights. And again, we're meeting people where they are and putting the data in their hands, and then also making it possible for others in the healthcare ecosystem to connect directly to these individuals.
Thank you. Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 2 most important things to Ōura, as I mentioned earlier, which are very much changing the status quo, is our key emphasis is on signal quality. So providing extremely high quality data at a research grade level in a really easy to use and high compliance form factor. I think in addition to that, the Ring then paired with the app and then transitioning that data to the cloud really creates this environment of accessible information and collaborations with researchers to further the field of physiological understanding. That, of course, has then led to major research collaborations. We're very open-minded when we think about working with academic institutions about how to really start to understand the role that wearables have to play when you have trustworthy data. And how you can work with individuals out in the field, giving them specific guidance to make better choices and ultimately live healthier and more fulfilled lives, because it's very difficult to know what's going on inside your body. And when you have data that you can trust on what your body is doing in response to those daily actions, it gives people the tools they need to have the highest quality of life possible.
Thank you. And then the second question is, tell us why you are solving a big $1 trillion problem. So it's about the market, the size of the market, and then the impact. So let's go backward. Let's start with Steve.
Yeah, so solving that large of a problem, you know, I actually worked in medical device and sleep for basically the last decade. And one of the things that always struck me is that sleep is 30% of our lives, and we have essentially no idea what's happening at all during that period. So for us, really unlocking what's happening within your body during this critical stage of rest and recovery has dramatic impacts on both brain function, cognitive performance, physiological health. What is the long-term impact of different treatment protocols on your body? How do you know? How does sleep impact who you are? So it's such a big piece of who we are as humans. Having no visibility or limited visibility into that until Ōura, I think creates an enormous opportunity for us to help the world better understand how to live the best lives possible.
Okay, Jen?
Yeah, so I think because we are collecting continuous longitudinal data, this gives us a much better representation of an individual's true experience. And by looking at this type of data, then we can, for example, diagnose conditions earlier, we can more effectively target interventions, we can monitor more effectively, and each person can also see what is happening. So I think this is really, really important when we're doing that. And this platform is also, because we are agnostic and connecting to all of the different apps, devices, sensors, and solutions out there, is truly applicable to every single person and accessible to every person.
Okay, thanks. Hannah?
Nearly 4 billion prescriptions are written in the US every year. But 1 in 5 of those is never even filled at a pharmacy, and half of those that are filled aren't taken properly, whether that's due to the difficulties in paying, forgetfulness or confusion over routines, or not understanding how to take those medications, things I spoke to a little bit earlier in the conversation. That non-adherence, that non-compliance contributes to 10% of hospitalizations, 125,000 preventable deaths a year, and 100 to 290 billion annually in unneeded spend in the healthcare system. So by having a meaningful impact on adherence, on reducing those risks to non-adherence, we're saving not only dollars for the larger healthcare system, but contributing to healthier lives.
Thank you. Sean?
Thanks. So yeah, I think like pain is I think all of us are solving massive problems. Everyone sleeps. Steve is absolutely right about that, and that's such a beautiful, I think, space to work in. I really am passionate about sleep-related products too, so I'd like to talk to you later about that. But I think pain is just from a cost perspective the biggest problem. You have $735 billion being spent every year on chronic pain alone, and that's excluding acute pain. You have 1.5 billion people around the world that deal with chronic pain on a day-to-day basis. And so it's as I said before, more expensive than cancer, heart disease, diabetes, stroke combined. And so you have a problem here that is just absolutely massive. It's killing. Think about the suffering as someone that's lived with chronic pain. It's insane to think about your back or your neck all day long. And so yeah, that's what I'll say about that. Thank you.
Hey, Mickey, Mark here. First of all, just Mark from Health Hub. Hi guys. First of all, this is really a great panel for me. First of all, here is my Enso device. Got my Ōura ring. I'm an Alto customer, and I'm all over what evidation does. So this is like the 4 of you. This, if I was a voter, this was like I'm so excited. You were like my company. I won. This is so it's really exciting for you that it's really comes down to your 4. The last question, which I'll jump in on, which is we learned this from the last 5 panels we went through, which was how is COVID shining the light on what you do? Like your company, COVID's changed, it changed everything. Give us the 30 seconds and I'll follow Mickey's lead and we'll go the reverse order. We'll do what we did before first time.
Okay. So I guess that's me, hopefully. Okay, not interrupting anyone. Okay, so so COVID, I think for us is, especially as the shutdown happened and people weren't able to go to clinics for elective procedures for knee pain or back pain, or just able to go in for procedures related to injections for pain relief for people that had chronic pain. You saw this increase in the DA. What they did was they just opened up the somewhat the gates for opioids to be prescribed remotely, because that was one of the few prescriptions or options that these patients had, as they can't go into an office to get a treatment done, or go to an acupuncturist, chiropractor, even the more alternative stuff. And so I think for us is we're able to ship a device to a patient, set them up over the phone, provide that coaching. So not just provide a pain treatment, but also a way to guide the patient through the experience they're having. I think that really highlighted how we're able to solve a problem in a remote way in a virtual way that just not delivers just a clinical impact, but also empathy and care for the patients that are, feeling the stress from COVID and the economic stress that results from, what we're going through right now.
Great.
Yeah, from Alto's perspective, we were built to do delivery first and support social distancing needs in communities before that became a requirement for larger public health. So it's been a really wonderful opportunity to expand awareness of pharmacy delivery options, of additional support and tools that are available to folks managing complex or chronic conditions, or even just busy parents who are now navigating kids at home and remote schooling and trying to figure out how to balance all of these needs. There's an option to stay home, to stay safe, and to have your medication needs come straight to you.
From the evidation side, for research first, right now traditional trials are a lot more difficult. People are pretty hesitant to visit physical sites. So we've already put in the infrastructure to transition more of this research and care to virtual, something that's pretty critical during and after COVID. On the consumer side as well, we've actually done quite a bit of research on COVID, whether it's physiological signals or sentiment and behavior, to look at, what kind of education people are going through, how they are feeling about, where they are, and then being able to, produce some reports that can reflect this and return these insights back to individuals and also others who are interested in what's going on. And I think through this process, there's a lot of scrutiny on privacy practices from companies, since every consumer is now being marketed to and sharing data with different organizations. And the fact that we have done this where it's single use case, single permissioning is really important to a lot of users.
Great.
Great. Yeah, so COVID has, I think, really significantly shined a light on the value of continuous physiological monitoring. Ōura is the only consumer wellness device, especially on the wearable side, that does continuous temperature monitoring. And researchers were using this in the field for a variety of different types of studies. And when COVID hit, they had the equipment to then deploy and start to assess, what is the physiological impact of COVID on a human being, looking at illness onset, to look at onset, progression, and recovery. So being able to work with researchers to provide that data, I think has moved our field of understanding around what is the impact of this illness on a human body really further forward. And we also are still digging into what is the recovery for this disease, and ultimately what happens if you get COVID and the flu at the same time. What happens if you get COVID twice? So these are all things that having a continuous physiological monitor will help. And I think one of the studies that the Ring is being used in today has over 65,000 participants. And one of the really interesting things that we're seeing from responses in the field is that most individuals have a very difficult time really understanding what's happening in their body. So having this continuous data gives them peace of mind that they might not be ill, or that they are okay, or whether or not they're moving in a direction that's abnormal and they should seek help from a physician. So we're very proud to be supporting the research community in this effort.
That's fantastic. Hey, Mickey, any final words before we sort of close it down? What do you think?
Well, it's been great. I'm glad that we have four of the best the companies for our semifinal.
Yeah, no, you guys are. I've already said my piece, and so let's just go to what happens next. Well, what happens next is we get to we have a grand finale, and our grand finale is on the 23rd. It's a 90-minute show. We've purposely scheduled it from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. The idea is to basically bring a glass of shot of tequila, sit back, and really enjoy. That's what we're telling everyone. We want to have 10,000 people at our grand finale, and we're tracking it right now. So if you know anyone who's into digital health, cousin, friend, coworker, someone who follows you, basically send them our URL and get them to sign up. This is a super important category. You guys have been great. And we wanted to keep it to 45 minutes. And thank you. And the judges, this is going to make it a lot easier for the judges to judge because of we've gotten your, what comes from the heart. So this has been great, and have a great day.
Mark. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.